Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification, and I'm just going to keep on bringing you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That 40-ish and under dollar range, and most of these are way less than that, and a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And I got 3 fragrances that I have picked up recently at the local rack store, and I figured if I'm seeing them, you're seeing them. I haven't put them in any kind of full-length reviews or anything, so I figured I'd just grab these 3 right here. They don't really share anything in common other than the fact that I haven't reviewed them, and I found them all recently at my rack store. So without further ado, let's get into these 3 fragrances that I have recently picked up at my rack stores. So up first is one that I have been seeing pop up, not particularly this fragrance, but this brand. They're owned by that RVL company, you know, the ones that make Milestone and Camera and Privé and all those other good clone fragrances. I don't know if these ones are direct clones because some of them smell familiar, some of them don't. They come in the box usually. They still have that pressure sensitive atomizer, so I don't know what's going on, but I'm talking about Sahari, and this one is Artoghrol. Or Artoghrol, however you pronounce that. I'm not sure how that's, what is that? Artoghrol, yeah, whatever, irrelevant. So there's that sticker, you know what I mean? So it's owned by that company, I guess, Atomizer. They got that good one on there. So I like the presentation. That's the one thing that caught my attention. You know, that black and that gold lace going on, looking all detailed and intricate, cool looking logo and stuff. Texturization on the side, super cheap light atomizer cap, but a nice pressure sensitive atomizer. So about the juice inside of this thing, it's going to be very fresh, green, and somewhat spicy opening, like a clove kind of an opening. When it starts to dry down, like the opening is quite nice, green, fresh, bright, spicy, touches of sandalwood. As it starts to dry down, it gets hints of sweetness. The brightness starts to wear off. Somebody told me that I smelled like nature when I was wearing this. I was wearing it at work and somebody said that, and I took it as a good thing. But for me personally, when this thing is drying down, that's when it starts to lose some of its luster, because it seems like it becomes very, very, very sandalwood dominant. A super synthetic sandalwood. It doesn't hold on to a whole lot of that creamy, milky thing that sandalwood has. It just becomes like a dusty, dirty sandalwood. Not this hand, that's a decent one. This one, very, very synthetic. There's something kind of offensive going on. It's like a little bit of an astringent, like sharpness going on. I don't know what's happening, but the dry down just does not vibe with me. The 20-minute, 15-minute opening is quite nice, but then the next 2 hours of the dry down just doesn't work. Opening is like a 5.5. It's a really nice smelling opening. The dry down is not good. So overall, because the poor performance, that weird synthetic dry down, I can't go more than a 3 out of 10 on this one. I think I'm being pretty gracious on it. Hopefully it matures later on. I can try to find more excuses to wear this thing. Other than that, it's probably just going to sit on my shelf and look pretty. If you guys have this one, let me know what you think about it. Also, the way that you buy a fragrance is you don't go by the opening. You don't buy a fragrance by the opening. Most fragrances sell like that, and this is a great example of a fragrance selling by the opening. I didn't give it time to mature or anything. I was like, hey, that smells pretty good. I walked around the store for like 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, let me pick that up. If nothing else, I'll just review it, and if it's trash, I'll tell you that it's trash. Well, guess what? It's trash. So, on me. You check it out. Let me know if it does the same thing on you guys or what. But always give a fragrance at least like an hour before you buy it. Don't just buy them on the opening. Don't. So, there's that one. Up next is one that I just kind of buy these on GP because so far the whole lineup I've really enjoyed. I either like them or love them. The quality is pretty good on them. None of them really last a long time, but they all smell good or great. I think there's only 2 from this whole line that I'm missing. I got like 12 or 13 of them. And the line I'm talking about is Banana Republic's 83 Leather Reserve. So this fragrance has the word leather in the title, so you would expect it to be maybe a leather dominant fragrance, right? Well, in the opening, it might surprise you, because it's not. It's there, but mostly what you're going to get is some of the tart citrus, spicy, green, woody, a hint of leather. Very, very woody forward. Green, cypress, woody, spicy. If this thing was released in 1979, 1983, I would believe it, because it's that classic masculine kind of smell. It's not so much of like a barbershop type thing like Drakkar or anything. I would say this leans more like on that polo green kind of side, minus all the green pine. This has a bit of green from the cypress, but it's a very woody dominant fragrance. When it dries down, you lose that citrus, as would be expected, because the citruses have a smaller molecule and the wood's going to have a bigger one, so it's going to hang on longer. That's what goes on there. That's why some notes hang on longer than others. But it becomes a woody, dominant fragrance, and the suede leather kind of thing comes out. It starts to peek its head out, but it never overtakes the wood and the spice. It just kind of hangs out there with it a little bit, and it's a little subdued compared to the wood. It's a woody, dominant fragrance. That's what it is. Classic, masculine, woody, spicy. If you like the classic smelling fragrances, I do. I used to not, but I've become kind of a sucker for it since I kind of became a fragrance enthusiast. I've really learned and really kind of started growing attached to some of those classic smells. This was released in 2017 and it has that classic smell, so I like it. Performance isn't all that good. It's like the weaker side of average on both projection and longevity, and on me, average is like 5 hours, and so overall, I can't knock it out or knock any points off for the projection or the longevity, and I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's better than good, in my opinion. I think it's better than your typical average rack store fragrance that you find. I like the way this smells. I'm going to find excuses to wear it, so they didn't let me down. This is not for everybody. If you like classic woody green spices, then go ahead and buy it. If you're not into those mature kind of old school smelling fragrances, then it won't be for you. And up next, one that kind of surprised me with how well that they replicated the original, because I've been buying up some of these alt fragrances. They're right there in the little case and they'll let you spray it. And I did with this when I sprayed it and walked around for a bit. And this was Alt Saxophone, their take on Mason Martin Margiela's Jazz Club. And it's a pretty darn good interpretation on that. Let me get in there. The atomizer on all these are really good. The problem is you have to tighten down the collar. For whatever reason, it will come loose. It won't become loose. They already come loose. So they're like leaking. So make sure you tighten that thing or you'll have parfum oil all over you, because they're pretty highly concentrated too. Made in Miami. Look at that atomizer. They squirt out a lot. I think that's cool. They're made in, bottled and everything in Miami. So woody, smoky, dusty, boozy. That's what happens. Little bits of vanilla. Just little bits of vanilla from keeping it from being too dry. Because this fragrance has the potential to be a very dry fragrance. They had autumn leaves there too, and I almost got that one, but I went with this one because Jazz Club is a little bit more known. So I'll get the autumn leaves next time. But this one, smoky, woody, boozy, touches of vanilla. It's earthy. It's nice. It's, when if you walk into like a smoky dive bar or something like that, that's kind of what's happening here. But it's not like a cigarette smoke. It's a nice clean smoke. And the performance is pretty decent. I'm super strong side of average, like 6.5 hours. Projection, it might not be. It's either average or just under as far as the overall pumping off my skin projection, but the longevity and the sillage seems to be pretty good. And if you can't tell, I just keep on smelling it because I like the way that it smells. But you have to like woody, dry, dusty, smoky, boozy, again, masculine kind of fragrances. So this one overall, I'll give this one a 7 out of 10. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but the good thing about it is they're super cheap, $20, and you can smell it. So you can let me know if you buy this one and you like it or not. but you can also just, like I said, you can just smell it. It's right there in the case. You smell this thing and make your decision on that. Just for me personally, I'm just letting you guys know what I think about it. I really like it, and they did a good job. Some of them, they nail it. Others, not so much. But I think this one they did a good job on. Coffee Break, they did a great job on. Bohemian Waters is not super accurate to Gypsy Water, but from Byredo, but man, it smells good. Like, they didn't nail the notes and everything perfectly, but man, it smells really good. This one is almost a 1-to-1. So that's the one that's my favorite on this whole list. Pretty good. Like, pretty good. Super solid. And yeah, those are my 3 recent pickups. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or if you're going to keep an eye out for these things. And yeah, with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.